Hey everybody, Maction here, and I have declined to comment much from the FCC reclassification of the internet until today, for a very important reason. If I am going to comment on law, I'd prefer not to comment on the he said, she said that we really have had in the past few months. Sure, it can get a bunch of views, but I'm less concerned about cashing in on that salaciousness and more concerned on the accuracy of the content. Well, today, the FCC released its Open Internet Order for 2015. It has 400 pages. Most of these pages are context, clarification, definitions, and comments on historical items, such as previous titles. While the actual rules changed by this are only around 7 pages in length, and entirely within Appendix A, you should still try and read that, even if it's just Appendix A. It's fascinating, but if you don't have the time, I'm going to try and summarize some stuff. This will not be exhaustive, and it will not cover everything, but it will cover the main rules and some of the important definitions that the FCC offered. Now, the first few pages naturally were introduction and an executive summary. Interesting to look at. They said fun things like, gee, look, the internet's all grown up, and we're going to implement some rules, and we totally won't use our power in the future to be evil. So, anyway, they do point out and paint rather clearly that ISPs have sufficient power to be a bunch of huge knobs. And Verizon even admitted that if the law wasn't in place, they would totally already be charging different rates for different content on the internet. So, the FCC wants clear rules, and these are they. Rule number 1, no blocking. ISPs may not prevent lawful content, applications, services, and non-harmful devices, subject to reasonable network management. Number 2, no throttling. ISPs may not adjust the speed of internet traffic on the basis of content, application, or service, subject to reasonable network management. Number 3, no paid prioritization. ISPs may not manage their network to either directly or indirectly favor some internet traffic over others. The FCC, though, can waive the ban only if it serves the public interest and will not harm the open internet. So, you may have noticed some as-yet undefined terms, specifically harmful devices and reasonable network management. Let me tell you what they said about those terms. Reasonable network management, they defined it as a network management practice is a practice that has a primarily technical network management justification, but does not include other business practices. A network management practice is reasonable if it is primarily used for and tailored to achieving a legitimate network management purpose, taking into account the particular network's architecture and the technology of the broadband internet access provider. And non-harmful devices is defined as devices that do not harm the network. So it's not so much a provision for our phones, but mostly against malicious attacks. Now, they do talk a lot about a modern Title II, a light touch Title II, or a Title II tailored to the 21st century, which is their way of saying that they will only be using a portion of the Title II rules to govern ISPs. They also claimed that this type of light touch will not impede the attitude of people to making future investments in internet infrastructure. So in conclusion, that is what it talks about. It talks about what the ISPs can't do. Those are the main rules that have been put into place. Again, I encourage you to look at it for yourself, read it. It's going to impact you in a daily basis. So it's important to be informed. So, there we go. Now we have something to look at. And I hope that this has been as informative for you as it was for me having looked at it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed, and if you have, a comment or a like goes a long way. Clicking on any of the videos will take you to a corresponding playlist for conventions, reviews, tutorials, and even Android games. And be sure to be subscribed so that you will be notified of new videos as they come out. Thanks again, and I'll see you around.